right, March 21st, 2021, we have 5 different supersets that we're going to do. Each superset, you're going to do the 2 movements 3 times before you let them go, and you move on to the next one for 3 times, and the next one, and the next one, all the way to the 5th one for 3 rounds. It's a running timer, so just keep moving down without any rest, but it's only 15 minutes. Knowing it's 15 minutes is that incentive to kind of push a little harder. So after your warm-up and anything else that you need to stretch, you know your own mobility. Remember that mobility and warming up and stretching is just like 5 to 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be hours long, but it does have to be consistent. Okay, so after that, we're going to activate with a bear crawl. So you can do knees really low like this, and I just want to make sure I'm doing right hand and then my left leg. Once I get that first one down, then it'll be more, the coordination will be there. Or you can do a straighter leg version, and whichever one you choose is fine, just be deliberate. So if you want your knees low, make sure they're low. Make sure they're only hovering really close to the ground. And if you want them high, make sure you stay high in that A-frame so that you're getting the benefits of one or the other. It's for time, so you're not going fast. You're not going for a certain distance, you're going slow and deliberate. A minute is actually a long time to crawl if you're not used to it, so definitely take breaks if you need to, but enjoy the movement. You might even, in that A-frame, really try to stretch and move the spine around, which is really great when you're not load bearing, to add as much movement to all the joints, especially your spine. So that is your activation. And then you have single leg. So you're gonna do a minute on the left, minute on the right of single leg play. You're gonna start, and I would start with bouncing just to kind of activate and turn everything on, and then single leg play. So you might just move the leg around. You might move the leg and the upper body in opposite directions. You can even do some squats. You can get really crazy with it. There's no wrong as long as you're not feeling any pain and you're not load bearing. You can kind of move around. So it is activating those muscles, but also changing the degree in which we're moving. So a lot of times when we're working out, we're doing things really rigid, but then in life we're bending over and doing crazy stuff with your kids or your job. So it's good to add those pieces in. So that activation will only take you 3 minutes. Then we're gonna move on. So you're gonna need a SmartWOD timer, which is free to download. We're gonna choose the Tabata setting, and we're gonna do 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. We're not really going to be resting, but it'll just keep you in, what am I trying to say? Like, you'll know when you're supposed to be doing cardio, when you're supposed to be doing the more isometric poses, because you know you're resting in that isometric pose. So it just keeps you on track. So 15 rounds, Tabata, 30-30, and that'll take you about 15 minutes. Like I said, knowing it's only 15 minutes, knowing you've got the active rest, you're gonna really push through the cardio pieces. So the first superset that you will do 3 rounds of is skaters and arch. So you're gonna do skater, arch, skater, arch, skater, arch, before you move on to the Heisman and side plank. So you'll completely finish that 3 rounds, then you'll move on to the second piece, 3 rounds, move on to the third piece, 3 rounds, 4th, and then 5th. Okay, but it is a running clock, so that 15 rounds is for the entire thing. So skater versus arch. A skater, I'm just moving from side to side, so I'll show you in a couple different angles. So you can do this. It's kind of like a little Heisman jump. Sometimes I have my leg go behind me, so it looks like this. Some people put their leg down behind them, which I really want to avoid doing unless you lose your balance, because I don't want to shift the weight to the back leg. I want to keep it on the front leg. So it looks like this, or like I said, knee up. So I can go quick and really cover some distance, moving my arms, really getting those involved, or I might jump and try to hold my balance like that. For today, I do want you to do something that raises your heart rate. So that's the whole object of today. You're gonna push, as opposed to doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, as many reps as you can. If you had a heart rate monitor on, I don't know if they even go across your chest anymore. That's the one I used to use. You're looking for that. That's your score in your own mental game, is how high can I get my heart rate? So you got skaters for 30 seconds. Then you're gonna go into that active rest of just an arch. So laying on your belly, arms out overhead. I'm lifting my hands and feet off the ground, and I'm just holding for 30 seconds. You don't have to be super high off the ground. You might only be off a little bit. Breathe normally, and then don't push your belly into the ground. You can push your stomach out and get yourself higher, but you're not really improving your arch. So just try to breathe normally, because your heart rate's gonna be up from the skaters like mine is right now. So that's your first set. You're gonna do that 2 more times, skaters arch, before moving on to the next one. So that 1-2 knee is a side shuffle, and then knee comes up. So 1-2 knee, 1-2 knee. You can kind of think like if you were going through big tires. We used to do tire runs when I was in the Air Force. So that's kind of what it reminds me of. But you have that. Again, 30 seconds, trying to get your heart rate up. You might go a little quicker. You might try to cover some more distance. You're really trying to drive that knee up and use your upper body so that the heart rate comes up. That's your goal. All right, the active rest for this one is side plank. Now obviously you have left and right for 30 seconds, so you can alternate the whole time, or when you hear the buzzer give you that halfway, you can switch sides. So you can go from plank to side plank, hold for 10 to 15 seconds, switch sides, 10 to 15 seconds. It's up to you what you do with your feet. So you might have your feet like this, so one is in front of the other. You might have them stacked. You might have that bottom knee down, which is really nice. You might even be down on your forearm. Completely up to you. Obviously, before the workout, you should practice each piece and see how it feels. But that is your second superset. Again, running clock. You're going to do that 3 times. So you kind of have to remember, if you're on the 3rd or 4th round, you can do some math in your head. So once you get to the 6th one, then you're moving on. Then 3rd superset is high knees versus a V-sit. So you know high knees, nothing crazy there. I'm going for a fast turnover as opposed to like this. So I am going for that faster feet, and I am going for coordination. So if you want to start with your left knee and right hand up and then pick up the pace, occasionally people do this, they'll do same. There is coordination with this, just like anything. So if you notice that, you can switch it up. But you've got high knees for 30 seconds. Sometimes I do that with my couch cushion. I take the seat part of the couch and I do high knees on that for some extra cushion. It's kind of like running in the sand. Okay, and then your active rest with that is just gonna be a V-sit. So option, 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 foot down is another option. Hands up, hands back, hands in front, holding on to this leg, whatever makes sense to you, but you're just holding. You can also extend the leg and play with that, since that is kind of the goal with the V-sit, but maybe that's too tough to hold the whole time, so maybe you just alternate left and right. Again, you're just trying to make it challenging for yourself. Okay, then after you do that 3 times, you're moving on to the side shuffle, touchdown. So side shuffle, touchdown, 1, 2, touch, shuffle, shuffle, touch, shuffle, shuffle. I only did 2, but you might do, if you have space, 3 shuffles, 4 shuffles. You could even do 1 shuffle. So shuffle, touch. It's almost like a hop and a touch. You have to figure out for yourself what hand you like down. So if I go to the right, I like my right hand to touch. Left, I like my left hand to touch. And I almost like turn my body a little bit side to side. So as you're moving, it's whatever feels the most comfortable for you. And then you have wild thing in between. So kind of prime that with your side plank. We're just gonna add a little bit to it. So after your side shuffle touchdown for 30 seconds, your active rest is gonna be going from plank. Okay, so you can see me a little bit better. I'm gonna take my top leg in plank and just place it behind me, and then open up into plank. If you want to open up the chest a little bit here, or take your arm overhead, you can. It's just a slight back bend from where we were inside plank, and then you'll do the other side. So leg goes behind, lift the hips, arm by the ear. So just a slightly different side plank. Hi, Pee-Pee. You want to eat something? Okay, go to the table. Okay, so that is your 4th one. The last one is going to be alternating jumping jack touchdowns. So jumping jacks, and then I'm just touching down in between. I'm alternating. I love these. I think they're really fun. You got that for 30 seconds. And then you're gonna put your knees together, squat, chair pose. So arms up would be a nice chair pose. It's definitely gonna raise the heart rate, but for some reason, if that doesn't work, you can take your hands behind you, and that also works for 30 seconds, and then go back. Legs should be burning. When you do your chair pose, you might not be as low because your legs are together. As a traditional squat, you might not even be close to 90. Totally fine. So that is your workout for March 21st. Obviously, reach out if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys on Sugar WOD.